What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. In this video, we are jumping into our Indie Comics weekend with Radiant Black issue number 11. And what we had seen most recently is Marshall going into existence, talking to the robot, trying to save Nathan. And through his trials and tribulations, he was successful, coming out the other side learning that they were always going to help him save Nathan, but they needed him to prove himself. Marshall needed to prove that he was ready for what is yet to come, to make sure that existence has picked the right person. With him passing his trial, he was able to save Nathan, and they are now returning back home. But Marshall is quickly going to learn that even in saving his friend, regular everyday life is still a little bit off, and that his and Nathan's story, it is just beginning. Now, make sure you guys have subscribed to the channel, make sure that you like this video, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so we are picking up with Marshall returning home. In his living room, there is a giant jolt of electricity. The portal opens up and we have Marshall, who lands on his coffee table, breaking it in half, but now he is home. Now that he has returned, the first thing that he goes to do is find Nathan to see if he is still alive. As he goes running out his front door, what we see are tons and tons of boxes, to include newspapers as well. It appears that nobody has answered the door or been inside in quite some time. But as Marshall makes his way to Nathan's hospital room, he doesn't find him. Looking around, he goes to the physical therapy, and this is where he finds Nathan. He is alive, he has returned. As the two of them start to have a conversation, this is where Nathan is asking Marshall where has he been. Obviously, Marshall doesn't understand what he's talking about, saying that he was in existence, so on and so forth. But this is when Nathan lets him know that Marshall has been gone for 6 weeks. Nathan woke up 6 weeks ago. As the two of them head back to Nathan's room, Marshall is going over all the news articles that he has missed in the last 6 weeks. Now, the robot in existence did tell him that time had worked differently. We see that there is a little bit of tension here. Nathan is seeming just a little bit odd, and we could assume that Nathan is a little bit envious. This Radiant Black was originally his, but now Marshall is the one owning it. That is when Nathan's parents come into the room, and immediately they are very standoffish, just a little bit rude. It seems that everybody is a little upset with Marshall, because when Nathan was about to be pulled off of life support, Marshall had disappeared. He disappeared for 6 weeks and nobody could find him. This is when it clicks in Marshall's head that nobody knows where he is. This is where he rushes over to his job only to find that he has been fired. And you could say that it's rightly so. Marshall had disappeared for 6 weeks with no communication with anybody, and you can't really blame them for firing him. He disappeared for 6 weeks with not a single phone call. And while Marshall, he really does his best to try and explain this situation without giving any details away, we can see that it's not working. As Marshall takes off, this is where we see Radiant Pink teleporting in to have a conversation. With him just getting fired, this is the perfect time for her to arrive, because she is coming with a job offer. If you guys remember in past issues, they had faced against an individual by the name of Doppler. Much like the Radiance in the technology, she is able to manipulate sound in a very unique way. But Eva, aka Radiant Pink, she's letting it be known that she has really been on one. And Radiant Pink has been live streaming all of the things she does. It really seems like the Radiants are using things like essentially YouTube to branch out, not only to get subscribers to bring in money, but to also get their name out there. And so as the two of them get ready to go find Doppler, we pick up with her and we see that she is nothing more than a professor. Once upon a time, she used to play the cello. but it appears she has some kind of medical issue. That is why she has been going out as Doppler. She has been getting money to pay off thugs, to pay off bills, all of these things. It appears that cargo that was found from 001, it has made its way through the black market. It is now in the underground, and we have all kinds of different people that have been able to get their hands on it. Taking us back over to Radiant Black and Pink. They are live streaming, GoPros, all that good stuff. They are making their way through the skies, discussing on what they should be doing and how they should be doing it. As they travel around looking for any sign of Doppler, they finally get a ping. This is where they see Doppler, a duffel bag full of money. Doppler panicking, screaming no. This is when Doppler shoots a giant blast of some kind of sound energy right from her arms. This blast hits a nearby building, and we see a bunch of people go falling from the sky, as Radiant Black and Pink are doing everything they can to catch all of them, to save them before anybody is hurt. Doppler is now gone, and they go through the belongings of Doppler trying to find any clue on where she might have gone. Doppler had gone back to the guys where she had got her charge from, because every time she runs out of juice, she has to come back to them, pay them for more juice to be able to keep the suit running. But Radiant Black and Pink, they were hot on her tail, and they have arrived here. As they show up, this is where we see Doppler really start to use her power. This is where the fight breaks out. But this fight, it is over relatively quickly. Radiant Black and Pink definitely having the upper hand, having the experience, knowing how to fight against somebody. It appears that Doppler, she really doesn't understand any of the fundamentals when it comes to fighting. She really seems more like a desperate person put into a desperate situation and given the power and ability to at least get the money that she needs. That is when the two gentlemen from the garage, the one that had been charging up Doppler, we see them get in a vehicle that seems to be intertwined with 001's technology. But with Doppler being taken down and those men making their getaway, we see that Doppler is crying underneath the suit. This is when Marshall says that this just doesn't feel right. Radiant Black giving Doppler the opportunity to leave, to stop breaking the law. He is letting her off with a warning, letting her also know that her so-called friends got this gear from 001, and that if it works the same way as his gear, then that means she gets charged off of the Radiants. Radiant Pink isn't really sure if this is the best of ideas, but Marshall says that this is the only thing that has felt right when so much has just been feeling off. It has been feeling weird. Ever since he was returned, things just aren't feeling as they should. For the first time since he has been back, this feels like the right thing to do. This is where he goes back to Nathan, passing JJ in the hallway. She is also not speaking to him. Again, he was gone for 6 weeks and didn't say a word, so everybody is very upset with him. But Nathan has been talking to all of them, really trying to smooth things over. While he's not able to do so with JJ or his parents just yet, he was able to get Marshall's job back, calling saying that he had a disease he was too embarrassed to talk about. But Nathan tells him that this is your time. They are his powers now, and Nathan is genuinely excited for his friend, even if it is just a little bit weird. But he lets Marshall know that they are good, that there is no hard feelings whatsoever, telling Marshall that he would like to get some sleep. Marshall leaves behind a little bit of music for him. Music that Doppler had made, as Nathan rests his eyes and he plays this music, as it soothes his mind and it goes into him. This is where we see the robot, somehow using these sound waves to communicate with Nathan. We are seeing that existence, it is not done with him yet. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Another story where we are roughly 11 issues in and we are just truly beginning our story. But it doesn't feel that way. There has been a lot that is going on. We have seen space battles. We have been to existence. We have fought against 001. We have seen that there are multiple other Radiants, that 001's technology is spreading across the globe. We all know that there is something big coming. When Marshall and Nathan were in existence, they were talking about this. They were discussing how Marshall needed to be ready for what is yet to come. And while we don't fully understand what this is, we can only assume that there is some kind of galactic war on the horizon where the Radiants are going to be instrumental in whatever is happening. It really looks like our heroes are being dragged into some kind of space war, that the human race itself is being selected to be warriors. Not every single one of them, obviously, but whatever is on the horizon is going to be huge. Now, this issue really did make you feel for Marshall, because he didn't choose to be gone for 6 weeks, but everybody around him, they are acting like this was all his choice. That when Nathan was on his deathbed, about ready to have his life support pulled, that Marshall just disappeared. I do think that everybody's being a little bit hard on him, especially considering Marshall was the only voice to say don't pull the plug, to don't take him off life support, because there is a possibility he could come back. But now everybody is kind of sticking up their nose. They're upset with him, and I don't feel like it's necessarily justified. Now, don't get me wrong, it's absolutely phenomenal writing. It's great writing because you can feel how Marshall is feeling. You understand that everyone around him is upset, and they don't really have the justification to be upset. Because at the end of the day, Marshall was the only voice of reason. He was the only person trying to ensure that Nathan would be saved, even when his own parents wanted to pull the plug on him. But whatever tension was there between Nathan and Marshall because of the switching of power, if you will, it looks like that is about to be alleviated because existence is not done with Nathan. It is possible that he could yet become another Radiant, or maybe another 001. But let me know your thoughts, let me know your theories. If you would like to get completely caught up on everything going on with this series, be sure to check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It will get you completely caught up on everything going on with Radiant Black. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by joining the channel membership. Much like Patreon, having 5 different tiers, from $1 to $50, from loyalty badges to getting free comics every single month. Not only does this help out the channel tremendously, but you are getting tons of perks in the process. Now, if you are unable to do any of that, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit that notification bell, and with that being said, until the next breakdown.